Story 1. I had a heart attack in April. The sad thing is I woke up in the hospital not knowing what happened. And for one split second, I thought this pandemic was either a crazy dream or had long passed. For that second, I actually thought I was in the hospital because I knocked myself out in some crazy workout or hockey injury. Having the nurse tell me I had a heart attack and that they were wearing full gear because of the pandemic was a real downer. Story 2. Realizing how little I matter in the grand scheme of things. I pretty much have almost no friends. The few I have don't really prioritize me in the sense that I'm not anyone's best friend or the first person they'll share news with. It's been really tough and miserable feeling so disconnected from the world. I mean, it's cool in a way to hear the stories about people reconnecting with each other, having long video calls, or going out safely with friends they haven't seen for a while. This all pretty much hasn't happened to me at all. I feel really isolated in the world, and I don't imagine it will be any better when life gets back to normal. Story 3. Yesterday, I ordered a pizza, ate half of it, didn't like it, so I ordered Chick-fil-A instead. That felt like a low point. Right now, I'm eating Whataburger and ice cream. Ladies, reach out if you want to hang out. Excuse me. Story 4. Thanksgiving Day by myself. Got really high, and then instead of cooking for myself, I just went to 7-Eleven and got some Ben & Jerry's for my dinner. First, thanks for all the love. It wasn't just the food choice that made it my low point. My mother died when I was young, a few days before Thanksgiving. I'm also not used to being alone. My kids were with their mom that week, and my girlfriend was isolating from me due to COVID. Story 5. Girlfriend left me in May the same week my investments crashed hard. All my travel plans got canceled. Had to deal with a friend making a suicide attempt, and I lost my teaching job. All this during the year I tried to go back to college. I ordered a whole bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken and played Sea of Thieves for 27 hours straight. Only went to the toilet once. So yeah, pretty low point for me. But I made a lot of money in that game, I guess. Story 6. Back in May, the one friend whom I was actually seeing in person had a mental breakdown and asked me to stop talking to her so she could recover. Other than her, I am single and live alone. I have friends I talk to online, but she was my one in-person human contact. That hurt. A few weeks later, the lockdown ended, so I was able to start going to the gym and dance classes again for social contact. Story 7. Rolling on the floor of my bathroom, periodically leaning over to vomit in the toilet or bathtub out of pain from kidney stones, but too stubborn to call emergency services because of how much it would cost me. But I did call my dad to ask if he had any painkillers left over from his surgery, while basically crying over the phone. I finally called, and before the emergency medical technicians could get to my door, I stumbled and fell at their feet begging for painkillers. In the ambulance, they hit me with 100 micrograms of glorious fentanyl. At 1 a.m., I rode home alone in a rusty taxi, while still in a daze but finally pain-free. Got slammed with about $800 in medical bills after insurance. $180 of that was for the 2-mile ambulance ride. Another couple of hundred was for a doctor whom I never saw face-to-face but apparently assessed my computed tomography scans and cleared me to go home after just 3 hours in the emergency room. Story 8. I ate all of the candy my wife had hidden while watching Treadstone episodes all night. The next day, when she found out, she blamed our youngest child, who is 3 and has the confidence of a superhero, so he said he ate them all. She believed him and told me. I was like, okay. So what do you want for dinner, honey? Changing the subject real fast. I let the little guy take the fall because he confessed, and he is so cute that nobody can get mad at him. Anyhow, that is maybe my lowest point. Story 9. I had about 120 pizza rolls in one sitting, followed by chicken tenders. Edit. I've been asked if I am okay, and I can safely say I am completely fine and was able to continue tickling buttholes the following day. No need to worry. Story 10. I don't have a job because I moved to a different state since my fiancé didn't love me anymore. Because of that, I skipped more than a few meals. I really hate my life. Edit. Thank you for any and all concern with my situation. It helps to know people care. Story 11. Honestly, the pandemic has been good to me aside from being out of work. My lowest point is when I ate a gallon of macaroni and cheese for lunch, though. I ate my feelings a lot. Story 12. I am not exercising. I can start to feel it bringing me down. I know I should eat better and motivate myself to go for a run, but my brain is justifying my laziness at the moment, and it's starting to affect me. Story 13. I am a delivery driver for a mail carrier. I have to be out on the road for up to 12 hours a day, and work has only been busier. Well, one day, my body was reacting very poorly to some food I had eaten the previous night. My boss wouldn't allow me to take the time off, so I tried to tough it out. The thing is, now with a lot of places being limited service, there is nowhere to use the bathroom. This was a week ago when we got about 10 inches of snow, so many places were closed outright. So, when nature finally called, I ended up having to use a plastic bag in the back of my truck and wipe with computer paper. 3 times. And the third time, I had to pull off to the emergency lane of the turnpike. I left the truck running to keep the heat pumping in the cab. This makes the truck very loud. I had also closed the sliding door that separates the seats from the back of the truck to keep the heat in and also block the camera that is always recording. So as I'm trying to finish up back there, the sliding door opens. A state patrolman had tried to see if anyone was in the cab, but it was empty. He knocked on the door, no response. He makes eye contact with me for what felt like a minute, but was really only a second or so. He said, "Ah, what the heck?" and backed out of the truck. I went out and talked to him for a minute, and he laughed about it. But honestly, it was the worst part of the day for sure. I can see the humor in it, but I was so miserable that day. Story 14. I have been a vegetarian for 12 years, but I have had fried chicken delivered more than a few times late at night since this thing started. I think about making a Tinder profile pretty much every day. Story 15. Caught a cold the day after I got hired. Had to wait 7 days to work. One of my services extended the due date a month, so I ate peanut butter sandwiches and bananas for 3 weeks until I got paid because after job expenses, I had $30 to last until then. Did it twice this year. Story 16. I made plans to kill myself this summer. I got very close, but I didn't want my wife to find me and I couldn't figure out where to do it. Then I figured out that I could just take a train to Long Island and hang myself in the woods. But I didn't do it. Hey, for anybody worried, I'm in a much better place now. Basically, I had a lot of trauma growing up that I never dealt with, and the pandemic made me face a lot of that. I had a meltdown. After I didn't go through with it, I told my wife, and she held my hand while I found a psychiatrist. She's been my rock throughout this whole thing, and luckily I have some forgiving friends. I'm on medication now, and I'm actually better than I've ever been. I've got a good doctor. I'm on selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and I'm getting therapy. I no longer have suicidal ideations, whereas I used to almost daily. If you're feeling like I was, find a doctor, find a friend, get help. Story 17. I quit a good job for reasons unrelated to the pandemic. I couldn't pass a drug screen because my body can hold tetrahydrocannabinol for up to 3 months, and I didn't have 3 months to wait. I had to get a job at the worst healthcare place in town just to maintain my certified nursing assistant license. The place is so corrupt that staff beat clients at the lockdown, and the state does nothing about it. Somebody in my home got COVID-19. They live literally in the living room. It is not possible to avoid them. My work told me I had to come in no matter what, no matter how many times I explained the laws to them, no matter that I was symptomatic with a fever, no matter that my name was given to the state and I was ordered by the health department to quarantine, no matter that those health department people called them personally and told them I was quarantined. I still had to come in. Since it is December and not March anymore, there is no financial aid available for me if I do quarantine. So, a few days ago, my choice was this: go to work knowing full well I will be exposing everybody, but continue to be able to pay my bills and hold my certified nursing assistant license, or don't go back to work, lose my job, and be unable to stay on course for my career. That was my lowest point. Story 18. Did not shower for 4 days. Brushed my teeth every day, but did not shower and smoked 2 packs of cigarettes over those 4 days. Drank a bunch of Diet Mountain Dews. Cursed a lot. Story 19. Felt a little sick. Realized I hadn't eaten in nearly 3 days. Ate a burger, 3 fried eggs, and a ham sandwich in one sitting. Promptly forgot to eat again for another day. Edit. I don't know if I should feel proud or ashamed of the number of upvotes this has. Story 20. I literally just ordered a frozen pizza, a hot dog, and a six-pack of Modelo from 7-Eleven because I know the vodka I started drinking at 3:30 p.m. isn't going to last me long enough, and I'll be too tired to cook anything. Maybe not the lowest, but I've had a few like this. Story 21. Thanksgiving solo this year, so I decided, forget it, I'm going to make a pie. I ate the whole thing in one sitting. The next weekend, I had leftover pumpkin filling, so I proceeded to make another pie and repeated the process. I'm not baking anymore if it's just me. Story 22. I deliver personal protective equipment to the elders in long-term care or their homes after regular work hours. In one neighborhood, there are heavy gangs near the long-term care home, so if I drive through, I sometimes get caught in crossfire. One night, my side window got shot out before the drop-off. I dropped it off, though, because if I don't, the registered nurses don't have a supply. I came home, posted it on a Toronto forum because I was sick of it and looking for empathy. I was told it didn't happen and that it was racist for posting it, so the post was removed, and I was banned. Then I ate 2 extra-large pizzas, 1 Ben and Jerry's pint of ice cream, and drank a bottle of vodka. I watched Arthur episodes for 3 hours. I really hate DW. I also ate a bucket of chicken wings with a 6-pack of Red Stripe beer. Work paid for the windshield. Story 23. Thinking it was better for me to get into an accident and die, for my life insurance to provide for my wife and 2 kids. It was a dark summer for me. Story 24. This pandemic doesn't even touch how I felt before the virus. If anything, you all are looking into a steamy window into my life daily. I lost my mom to an overdose in 2015, lost my grandma in 2017, and lost my dad on New Year's Day, minutes after the new year, due to drinking himself to death in 2018. So, COVID-19 to me is an annoying fly who can't find an open window fast enough. Story 25. I feel like every day is a new low. Yesterday I woke up by putting Everclear in my Monster Energy drink, skipped going into the laboratory, took a 4-hour bubble bath with dish soap, and ate 2 boxes of macaroni and cheese, half a duck, and 3 bagels. Story 26. Had a few Zoom parties where I was drinking with my friends, but then once everyone finished the call, I continued drinking on my own while playing video games. It was kind of fun, but I was doing it out of boredom and some low-key depression. I had a few moments where I was still drinking after the Zoom call and was just kind of wishing I could have been with my friends in person. Story 27. My husband woke me up one morning a few months back, put a cold beer in my hand before I even opened my eyes, and said, "Start drinking, we're getting day drunk today." And that's the only time I've ever ended up drunk and naked before 9 a.m. Story 28. I wake up at 4 p.m. and sleep at 6 a.m. I do nothing but sit behind my personal computer, with the occasional gym visit. I've given up on my study because I can't motivate myself to do anything online. I still have boxes standing in my room from when I moved here over a month ago. I haven't even bothered unpacking them yet. It's safe to say this is quite a low point. Story 29. 2 months ago, I got very drunk on Jack Daniels, smoked a huge joint, then ate 3 packets of instant noodles, still dry and broken up, not even cooked, with the seasoning sprinkled on top. I was sitting curled up in my underwear, in my shower, watching the whole 9 yards on my phone. My logic was that I could and would make a mess with my poor man's Doritos, but it didn't matter because all I had to do was take a bath afterward. Story 30. Lost my very good paying job, over $125,000, of 9 years, and have been looking for work for 6 months. Tons of interviews and was very optimistic about the last. Received a template email that was poorly formatted saying I didn't get the job, and the job title didn't even match correctly. Pretty demoralizing having prepared for 3 days for the interview for the job. Story 31. I had my first panic attack back in January. I was completely alone, in a city hundreds of miles from any family, at midnight. I ended up collapsing outside because my limbs were going numb and people quite literally just walked right over me. I finally managed to call an ambulance and didn't get out of the hospital until 5 a.m. I skipped all work and classes the next day. I just remember feeling profoundly alone, both while on the street and begging passersby for help, and in the hospital where I was dumped in a triage while they tended to other patients with more demanding issues. It was like no one cared. The ambulance didn't even turn their siren on. It's like my life meant nothing to anybody. Story 32. Probably drinking 5 nights in a row for the second time in my life. The first was before COVID-19 when I was studying abroad. I don't feel bad about that one. Laugh out loud. But yeah, 5 nights in a row, 2 with friends, and I got pretty hammered. The 3 before were alone. Just made a cocktail each night and sipped on it. Story 33. I used to be a sales development manager without a college degree making good money but got laid off in March due to COVID-19. My daughter hasn't gone back to school, and no long-day daycare places are open in my area. So I've been a stay-at-home dad. I do all the chores, homeschool my kid, take care of the house, but honestly, I feel like I'm useless. I can't find any work that is stay-at-home that isn't a scam. I can't go back to work in an 8-hour-a-day office due to the child situation. I'm not eating into my savings, but I'm not saving a dime. My wife is putting a little into savings, but I'm not. We were saving for a home, but now because of me, we are behind where we wanted to be by now. I went back to school this semester for information technology in the hopes of changing career paths with COVID-19 because I'm good with computers. I've got an A in 2 classes, but I'm failing a third because I'm an anxious person who keeps letting the third class fall by the wayside. I feel like a complete loser for failing the third class. I can't find a stay-at-home job. I can't look for a regular 9 to 5 in an office. I'm a stay-at-home dad with lots of time and am failing a class. I'm turning 30 soon and I wish I'd finished school a long time ago, but I got comfortable in sales, and now I feel like a failure who can't get a job, isn't performing perfectly in school, and is feeling a great amount of self-loathing. Usually, after putting in a lot of work in class or around the house, I feel a lot better for a few days until the cycle repeats. 2 nights ago, I cleaned the whole house, did most of my work except for the one class I'm still way behind in, and still felt like nothing I can do is good enough. The high isn't coming anymore, and now I'm just left with the low.